Network, Grown Man Conversations dealing with elephants in the room. What's going on, family? It's your man DB with a part two. Man, it was getting so long, man. I had to just break it up. Talking about the novel by George Orwell, novel and movie 1984, and how it parallel with so much things that are going on today. And I don't know how he's foreseen the future when he died in 1949, 1950. And here we are in 2020, and he just almost right on the money with some of his stuff that he had, man. It's amazing. So last time we left off, we talked about the three classes: the inner party, the outer party, and the pros. The inner party is the 2% of the population. You know what I'm saying, they deal with Big Brother. The outer party is the 13% of the population. They got like state jobs and stuff like that. And then the pros is 85%, or the rest of the population. We get into all three of those in a minute. The pros, let's get into them. Pros made up 85% of the population. Now check this out, man. This is a fictional book, man. But this is so amazing. So amazing to me. All right. So they made up 85% of the population. They had little education. There was the work labor class. They had privacy and anonymity. In other words, remember I told you all throughout this in this novel, all throughout the town, they had surveillance everywhere, right? But they had privacy, right? Their quarter was free from telescreens. The party does not care to observe them. Pro functions and the party's mind was to work and breed. That's it. The party creates meaningless entertainment for the pros. Do you hear what this man put? The party creates meaningless entertainment for the pros. I wonder who that sounds like and who that's for. Pros are not required to wear uniforms because the outer party had to wear uniforms to identify who they was. They can use cosmetics. Check this out. Permitted religion for those interested. Incredible. Home, family, neighborhood quarrels, films, football, beer, lottery. They was permitted to do all of these things, or the modern day bread and circuses. Right? Pros are kept in check by certain pleasures to maintain docile behavior. I'm going to read that again. The pros were kept in check by certain pleasures to maintain docile behaviors. The thought police, we're going to talk about who they are, plant agents to watch the spread of false rumors to keep the pros distracted. All right. So pros was made up 85% of the population, but they was deemed not a threat as long as they was distracted and entertained and had pleasure and had religion and all this different stuff. That was cool. But it was a dude in this book called O'Brien, and he was saying the pros would never revolt because they have no need to do so long as they are kept well fed and distracted. The pros will never revolt because they have no need to do so long as they're kept well fed and distracted. That is crazy. What happened to the most gifted pros? The most gifted pros are those who would think, right? They would think outside the box. They would think outside of the ideologies of newspeak and double speak, and they would influence other pros. They are marked down by the thought police and eliminated. So the pros who were considered gifted were marked down by the thought police and eliminated. The faculty of stopping short through the instinct and thresholds of any dangerous thought. What is the biggest danger to Big Brother in 1984? The biggest danger to Big Brother in this novel, the greatest threat to the inner party is people of the party and or the pros beginning to think as individuals with their own individual feelings, allow them to revoke the subhumanness that the party has placed upon them and possibly use the power to revolt. So basically, they didn't want the pros to think. They didn't want the pros to think individual. That's why they say, they want to be collective. They don't want you to think outside of what the masses think. Even though we are taught to be individual and, freedom of speech and all this, but it's freedom of speech within confinement, believe it or not. George Orwell appears to have taken his 1941 speech and used it along. George Orwell was taking the speech from Franklin Delano Roosevelt and used it along with his own experiences at the BBC to create a reversal of the Four Keys ministry. Okay, so this is a parody to that 1941 Four Freedoms. Franklin Delano Roosevelt wrote a speech for four freedoms. Said the first freedom, the freedom of speech. Second freedom, the freedom to worship God. Third freedom, the freedom from want, right? And the fourth freedom, the freedom from fear, right? So these are the ministries. They call them ministries. It's crazy, y'all. In Oceania, Oceania's four ministries are housed in huge pyramidal structures displaying the logos of the party, right? Ministry of Peace, or they call it mini packs. It's Ministry of Peace concerned with making war, concerned itself with making war. So it's called the Ministry of Peace, but it's dealing with war. Ministry of Plenty, or Mini Plenty, right? And this ministry involved in maintaining poverty in Oceania. So it's called Ministry of Plenty, but it's maintaining poverty. Ministry of Truth, or Mini Truth, is a propaganda arm of INSOC State. They distribute the leaflets, porno, and of course the telescreens. Winston spends his day correcting historical records in the Mini Truth. He's in the Ministry of Truth. Crazy. Ministry of Love, a gigantic windowless building devoted to torture and brutality. The home of the thought police. The Ministry of Love is the home of the thought police. It is surrounded by a maze of barbed wire and machine gun towers. So you can't even look into this. And it's people don't want to go into the Ministry of Love. They don't want no love. But if you commit a thought crime, you have to go to the Ministry of Love and get handled. Crazy. Ministry of Peace concerned itself with war. Ministry of Love concerned with torture. The second of the four freedoms addressed in the religion is that God is love. Then the Ministry of Love can be interpreted as mocking that ideal as well. Ministry of Plenty, as dealing with reality with starvation. The third of Roosevelt's four freedoms addressed the issue of freedom from want. Orwell seems to have heard these words with a sarcastic mindset. The children, all right, in the Soviet Union, young people were encouraged to join a political group. They were called young pioneers, aged between 7 and 13, later called Komsomols, right? If you were a Kosomo member, you got into universities automatically, and so you were great pressure to join. And so even in this film, the children they are like little snitches. They get little perks and stuff like that, right? And so they are little snitches to go tell if mommy or daddy or any adult is committing a thought crime or got a journal writing to something or doing something illegal against the state. They use children, right? And they will go and tell the thought police and tell Big Brother, and then they will get rewarded. Surveillance and control. People on this side, this is from the book. Surveillance and control. People of this society are constantly being watched by telescreens, monitors. They have the ability to project images and take in images. This was in 1948. 1949. They are also watching each other. Any small facial gesture or sign can give you away. Face recognition. All them little face games you play on Facebook. This is how I would look 10 years ago, or the me and my youngest daughter challenge, or this is 5 shots of me, 5 pictures of me challenge. It doesn't matter if you are innocent, right? So surveillance. We say, hey Siri, go ahead, I'm listening. We got the Ring. I always trip off that Ring bell. Yeah, so it does bring a level of safety and security. That's how it's sold, but it also deals with privacy as well, right? Modern day surveillance, like I put on there again. We walk around with a tracking device all day, 24/7, 365, which is the phone. Crazy. We have cameras everywhere. How did he know this? If he would have stayed alive, he'd be tripping right now. A lot of the stuff that's in this book, 1984, is coming to pass. Newspeak. Newspeak is the official language of Oceania. It is an extraordinary in that its vocabulary decreases every year. So instead of articulating and communicating and getting more words, the vocabulary will decrease every year. The state of Oceania sees no purpose in maintaining a complex language. And so Newspeak is a language dedicated to the destruction of words, as the character put it. And I think about today, and there's nothing wrong with using emojis and all these different things. LOL. I know, right? And I've seen this on papers. I work out of school. IDK. They all know the answer? IDK. Or using an emoji to communicate. You can't even have a civilized conversation, right? I don't know. You talk to a young person sometimes, not all of them, but you say, "Hey man, how's your day? What's going on, man? How did you?" You know what I'm saying? Mumble rap, grumbling. Man, you can make $1 million off mumbling to the beat. That's easy. You feel what I'm saying? So that's kind of look like it parallels with that Newspeak, right? They took cursive out of school. Okay. So why would you take cursive out of school? Oh, we're going to be doing stuff on computer. But you still got to learn how to sign your name. I would think so. Took cursive out of school. A lot of schools took cursive out, right? So this is a Newspeak to dub down the people. The true goal of Newspeak is to take away the ability to adequately conceptualize revolution or dissent by removing words that could be used to that end. Since the thought police had yet to develop a method of reading people's minds to catch dissent, Newspeak was created so that it wasn't even possible to think of dissenting thought. Wow. This concept has been examined and widely discounted, right? The thought police, to think outside of the box, to think outside of the norm, to think outside of what Big Brother tells you is a thought crime. They're coming for censorship. When you think outside the box, they're going to say you were intolerant. Thought crime. Excuse me. Unorthodox thoughts, beliefs, and doubts that contradict INSOP, English socialism, which is a dominant ideology of Oceania, right? Unorthodox thoughts, beliefs, and doubts that contradict the official report, right? We got this thing called YouTube. We can come out with different videos, right? Some of the videos contradict what they try to tell us on the news, right? As the official story. And they get on there mad, like, don't listen to these different YouTubes, these offshoots, right? They don't have all the information. Listen to us for the official story. So I really believe that they're going to nail down. They're already doing some censorship now to try to cut down on the truth, to cut down on your quote unquote opinion that goes against the beliefs of society today. Again, ladies and gentlemen, he wrote this in 1948. How did he see this coming, man? The thought police. Police who discover and punish thought crimes, which is a personal and political thoughts unapproved by the government. Censorship of the truth. Looks like you had a little bit too much to think. Support your local thought police. Don't speak out or question. Hey, man, that's crazy. The thought police will come and get you if you think something contrary to the ways of Big Brother. Incredible. Ministry of Love, or Room 101. In the basement, a torture chamber in the Ministry of Love. Room 101 purpose in 1984 is to serve as a boogeyman, a thing to be dreaded by those in the know, a thing to be feared, that you may be motivated by fear to comply with whatever you are told. What's within the room is the worst thing in the world, which is relative to the person being sent to the room. So for those who think outside the box and get caught by the thought police, you're going to get took into the Ministry of Love and get handled for thinking contrary to what Big Brother is telling you. All this is in this the so-called fictional book. It's amazing. You know, this might be non-fictional. Is this book fictional novel? We don't know. Look at the symbolism and the different things, man. This is so amazing to me. All right, so then if you look, you said look right here, say Big Brother's watching. So if you look at one of the movies, you got these posters all over of Big Brother. And then look right now, when you go to Korea, you go to certain places in China, I mean, they got pictures of their leaders on the walls, in the trains, on the poster in your house, above your television. It's state-controlled TV, right? All of that, man. It's real crazy. And I believe the New World Order, they're trying to get the whole world to be on that, right? It's interesting. Big Brother is watching you, right? And it's easier now. You know, they used to, back in the day, they had to wire tap Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. But now we post all our information on social media. So all they can pull up some data on us so quick, some face recognition, some anything on us so quick, voice recognition, facial. It's so easy now to just grab our data and to grab our information, right? Is 1984 a novel of despair? No. George Orwell offers a political choice between the protection of truth and a slide into expedient falsehood for the benefit of rulers and the exploitation of the ruled. So he's like, man, look, I'm putting this out. I want you to make a choice. Matter of fact, he didn't even release the book. And one of his friends put it out. He wrote it, but one of his friends put it out on his deathbed. I think he was dying of tuberculosis. And one of his friends put it out on his deathbed. You know what I'm saying? So it is a subversive novel, a protest against immoral rulers, the authoritarian in every personality, and unquestioning conformism. So it's not a depressing novel of despair. It's like a warning, like, yo, man, protect the truth at all costs, man. Choose the truth at all costs, even if you got to end up at the Ministry of Love getting handled. Feel what I'm saying? The Ministry of Love is whatever your worst nightmare, whatever your fear is, right? Double speak. Misleads. Wow, listen to this, man. Man, I love this stuff. Double speak misleads, distorts reality, pretends to communicate, makes bad seem good, avoids or shifts responsibility. We're seeing all of this today, ladies and gentlemen. Makes the negative appear positive, creates a false verbal map of the world, limits, conceals, corrupts, and prevents thought, makes the unpleasant appear attractive or tolerable, creates incongruity between reality and what is said or not said. Double speak, bro. Double think is a manipulation of the mind by making people accept contradictions. Doublethink makes people believe that the party is the only institution that knows right from wrong. The Ministry of Truth, where Winston worked, changes histories, facts, and memories to promote doublethink, bro. Doublethink. Listen to this. We closing out in a minute. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. These little signs, little posters up all over the town. Like, what? What's that? Doublethink, the act of simultaneously accepting two mutual contradictory beliefs as correct. Even to understand the word doublethink involves the use of doublethink. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I had to put some scripture in there. For example, doublethink used in 1984 include the slogans, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, and 2 + 2 is 5. You heard what I said? 2 + 2 is 5. 2 + 2 is whatever Big Brother says it is. He can change it. The truth is 2 + 2 is 4. But once you come out of the Ministry of Love, you're going to be saying 2 + 2 is 5. For real. It's crazy, bro. All right, war is peace. What does that mean? The motto war is peace indicates how having a shared enemy unites the people of Oceania and helps them remain on a common course. It gives them something to worry about for external in the way the country is being run. That happens somewhere else. I need you guys to put comments in the video. Is this not going on today? Has this not been going on for the last 20, 30 years? Freedom is slavery represents the message that the party imparts to the community that anyone who becomes independent of society's control is bound to be unsuccessful. If you try to be autonomy, try to show have autonomy outside of what Big Brother set up, you won't be successful, right? Even people like, well, I'm gonna do my own music, I'm gonna do my own acting, I'm gonna do my own. Bill Cosby, I'm gonna take in MSNBC, I'm gonna do my own thing. Like, nah, bro, you're gonna be unsuccessful. Had all these girls come out of nowhere talking about they got raped 40 years ago by Bill Cosby. A society that is based on free will result in chaos and a devolvement of the society. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. If the people remain ignorant to the facts, listen to this one, they will not be able to raise questions against the governments. Therefore, it will help the concerned government in making a country stronger. The main agenda of the party was to promote doublethink, which describes an act of accepting two equally contradicting ideas simultaneously as correct and as distinct as social context. That's why it's a lot of that hypocrisy going on. It's a lot of double think and a double speak and double. It's all of this stuff going on right now, right? In other words, it says that the ignorance of the masses is translated into a government's strength. If the masses is ignorant, the government is strong, basically. Why is the war never ending? Remember, I showed you this video in closing. I mean, this map, right? Blue, Oceania. Red, Eurasia. Yellow, East Asia. This is the area where they fight at. In 1984, the endless war enables the ruling class to remain in power. Big brothers, all of the rulers to remain in power, while the lower classes remain powerless. In Goldstein's manifesto, he observes that the country that is productive will eventually become prosperous unless something is done to destroy the fruits of that productivity. They running this game now, bro. War is the ultimate solution to this problem. Crazy, man. Crazy, 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 crazy. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know. It's so much more in that book. Like, you can listen to the audio book. You can actually read it. The movie don't deal with everything. You know what I mean? But it's a love. You know, Julia and Winston love each other, and that's forbidden, right? Their whole devotion is supposed to be towards Big Brother and what he wants, right? So they get caught, man, and then they both go to the Ministry of. Well, if you haven't seen it or read it, I don't want to spoiler alert. But check it out, man. This book was written so long ago, and he was dealing with the integrity of the truth, right? The integrity of truth, right? Truth will not be tolerated in the end times, right? We're salt and light, the quartership, the believers, the Yadaim, we're a salt and light in the earth. And we got to speak the truth in love, right? And we can't tell a lie for a paycheck. We can't tell a lie for being scared we're going to be taken to the ministry of truth and get handled. We have to tell the truth, the whole truth and none but the truth, like they say in court. So help me, Yahweh. Feel me? Subscribe, like, share. Let me know what you think. 1.
Perfect. Perfect.